Good evening, race fans. Welcome to South Boston Speedway. I'm Aaron Johnson with the Johnson iRacing team, bringing you today's feature event. It is 50 laps from South Boston in the iRacing SK Modified Series. This is the top split, the best of the best, the top drivers that were on the iRacing service at the time this race was offered. Let's have a look at this evening's starting lineup. Starting in the 12th spot in car number 6, racing out of Orange City, Florida, it's Blake Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum did not make the starting grid in time, so he will begin the race from pit road. Starting 11th in car number 12, it's Stefan Langlois. Stefan racing out of Canada. Starting 10th in car number 9, racing out of Hidden Night, North Carolina, it's Dwayne Elliott. Elliott also did not make the starting grid in time. He too will begin the race from pit road. Starting 9th in car number 7, that's Adam Carty out of Birmingham, Alabama. In the 8th starting spot in car number 11, that's the Menards Modified of Gabriel Watson. Watson racing out of the Carolinas. Starting 7th in car number 8, it's Jeffrey Blue, the Dirt Vision car out of Georgia. Starting in the 6th spot in car number 3, he will show up on your screen as the green and black 36, but on your telemetry in the top left-hand corner, he will be car number 3. That's Derek Nickel, the Gups Corner car racing out of Rockford, Illinois. Starting in the 5th spot in car number 10, that is Guy Bonfield, Guy in the Citrus Cafe car racing out of Ohio. The Citrus Safe car racing out of Ohio. Now let's have a look at your top 4 starters. Starting in the 4th spot in car number 4, that's Derek Gress, the iRacing car racing out of the Midwest region. In the 3rd starting spot, that is car 00, Aaron Johnson. He's going to show up on your telemetry as car number 5, but on the screen is car 00, Johnson, the State Farm Modified racing out of Bailey, Colorado. In the 2nd starting spot, in car number 1, that's James Linkowitz, the iRacing car out of Indiana. And on the pole in car number 2, that is Brendan Curran, the Mike Wood Race Designs car out of the Mid-South region. We're here for 50 laps in the iRacing SK Modified Series. These open-wheeled cars, big wide tires, lots of fun to drive. They're fairly responsive in handling. It's a fixed setup race, so all these drivers running the same setup. Lights are off on the pace car as we watch for a green flag start. Green flag is out. That is the 2 of Brandon Curran taking off. Curran takes a quick lead. Linkowitz is going to jump into the 2nd spot. Behind Linkowitz, it looks like Aaron Johnson might slip into 3rd. He's got the inside line there, but he's racing side by side with Derek Gress in car number 4. They come off the corner and back out onto the front straightaway. That's the 2 of Curran with the lead. Looked like a little contact. Curran goes around sideways. I got a little nudge from the 1 of Linkowitz. That's also going to involve the 8, so we're going to take out the 8 of Jeffrey Blue. So that's a little bit of a problem there, as the 1 of James Linkowitz just got into the backside of your leader, and that'll put Linkowitz up front. Gress is going to jump into the 2nd spot. It'll drop Aaron Johnson into 3rd with Guy Bonfield in 4th and Derek Nickel rounding out the top 5. Behind them, it's Carty, Rosenbaum, Langlois, Watson, and Curran. Curran looks like he's off into the pits, as is Jeffrey Blue. Out front, that's the 1 of James Linkowitz. Linkowitz doing a really nice job running a nice smooth race in car number 1. These drivers, 12 drivers, have combined for 1,448 iRacing asphalt oval track wins. So some great skill on display in this iRacing SK Modified event. Let's have a look at how they run on the speedway. Out front, that is the 1 of James Linkowitz. The next car on the track is car number 4, Derek Gress. Gress currently being shown in the 2nd spot. Just behind Gress, that's the 00 of Johnson. Johnson in that sort of hot coral colored State Farm car. Behind Johnson, that's the 10 of Guy Bonfield. Guy currently being shown in 4th. Behind Bonfield, next car on the speedway is the 36 of Derek Nickel. Remember, Nickel on your telemetry shows up as car number 3. Behind Nickel on the speedway, that's the 8 of Jeffrey Blue. Blue currently being shown 4 laps down. Behind blue, that's car number 7, Adam Carty. Carty currently running in the 6th spot. Then behind Carty, it's the 6th car of Blake Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum currently shown in 7th. Behind Rosenbaum, that is the 12 of Steven Langlois. Langlois being shown in the 8th spot. Next car on the speedway, that's the 11. He's in the pits. We're around to the 2 of Brandon Curran. Curran currently being shown in 10th. And then we're back around to the leader, James Linkowitz. Linkowitz out front. We're 11 laps into a 50-lap event. James Linkowitz is beginning to pull away from Derek Gress in the 4. Johnson all over Derek Gress back bumper, trying to find his way around. And maybe zoom in on that race between Johnson and Gress, as Aaron Johnson's really working hard to find his way around the 4 car. Gress running a nice race, protecting the inside line. That is the fast way around the track at South Boston. 2 wheels on the yellow line in both 1 and 2, and again in turns 3 and 4. You let the car drift up toward the wall as you come off of 2 and off of 4. Johnson trying to find his way around, just doesn't have enough race car. Looks like he can come off the turn just a little bit lower, but he doesn't get enough pull off the turn. That car not driving as well off the corner to try to get underneath the 4. Out front, it's the 1 of Linkowitz. Linkowitz with the lead, the blue and green car out front. Linkowitz 15 laps in now to a 50-lap event, and James Linkowitz with the lead. Lap traffic has yet to come into play, although I would expect we should begin to see lapped cars in a very short while, as Linkowitz is running a pretty quick pace. You know that we've got 8 cars on the lead lap. Stefan Langlois, the last car on the lead lap. We've got 3 cars that are laps down. That would be Brandon Curran, Jeffrey Blue, and Gabriel Watson. Johnson all over the 4 of Derek Gress, still can't find his way by as James Linkowitz begins to pull away. Linkowitz starting to stretch that lead out. He's about 7 car lengths out front in the iRacing Modified. Linkowitz, a regular in the Modified Series, running out of Indiana, sort of the heartbeat of open wheel racing. Beats in Indiana. Linkowitz doing a nice job. Linkowitz out front. He comes down the front straightaway past the start-finish line. We are 19 laps into a 50-lap event. James Linkowitz is pulling away from the rest of the field. Linkowitz, Gress, Johnson, Bonifield, and Nickel, the top 5, as we watch James Linkowitz pull away from the field. Johnson still all over the back bumper of the 4 of Derek Gress. Aaron Johnson about half a car length back. Just can't find a way to get underneath that 4 car. The fast way around this racetrack is the low line. Johnson very good, it looks like, in 3 and 4. Maybe not quite as good in 1 and 2. Johnson maybe better into the corner. Looks like Gress much better off the corner as he tends to pull away as they come out of the turn. Johnson trying to find a way to get a wheel underneath that 4, root him up off the bottom, and take that position. So far, Johnson having no luck, and now it looks like Gress maybe he's beginning to put just a little distance between himself and the 00 of Johnson. Behind these 2, next car on the speedway is the 10 of Guy Bonifield. Bonifield currently shown in the 4th spot, running all by himself there in the Citrosafe car. Behind Bonifield, the next car on the speedway is the 11. That's the Menards car of Gabriel Watson. Watson currently 7 laps down. Behind Watson, it's the 7 of Adam Carty. Carty currently being shown in the 6th spot. Then the 6 of Blake Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum running 7th. Behind Rosenbaum, we're around to the 2 of Brandon Curran. Curran currently being shown in 9th. Behind Curran, that's the 12 of Stefan Langlois. Stefan, the last car on the lead lap. Behind Langlois, the next car is the 1 of James Linkowitz. We are at the halfway point. James Linkowitz with the lead here in the iRacing SK Modified Series from South Boston. This is a fixed setup series. These drivers all racing on the same setup. There are a few adjustments you can make. You can change your brake bias. You can make some adjustments to the steering offset. You can actually change the steering ratio from time to time depending on the series. So there are some adjustments you can make to try to gain a small advantage, but primarily these drivers all racing on exactly the same setup. What that means then is this is more of an evenly matched race, and it's really going to come down to the drivers that understand how to get the most out of these cars. And we're watching James Linkowitz pull away from the field. Linkowitz out front. There is another Tour modified series, also runs the SK mods. They have a few more horsepower. They are open setup, and what that means then is that drivers can adjust pretty much everything on the car. Spring rates, ride heights, can adjust the amount of sway bar that's in or out, track bar position, front to rear, weight ballast. I mean, you name it, you can change it in the Tour Mod series. So the SK series is fixed, the Tour Mod series is not fixed. Right now, we're watching the SK mods. This is a fixed series, a fixed setup race from South Boston. 20 laps to go. James Linkowitz with the lead. Linkowitz has been out front since he put just a slight tap on the back of car number 2, Brandon Curran. So Linkowitz took the lead after contact, and he's pulled away from the rest of the field. Linkowitz out front comes down the front straightaway past the start-finish line. 18 laps to go, and it's James Linkowitz out front, Derek Gress in second, Johnson third, Bonafield fourth, Derek Nickel in fifth. Those are the top 5 on the field. Let's have a look one more time at how they run on the speedway. Out front, it's the 1 of James Linkowitz. Behind Linkowitz, that's the 4 of Derek Gress. Aaron Johnson still trying to find a way around, about a half a car length behind the 4 of Gress. Behind Gress, that's the 00 of Johnson, the Tax Slayer State Farm car. And behind Johnson, the next car on the speedway is the 10 of Guy Bonafield. Bonafield currently shown in 4th. Behind Bonafield, that's the 36 of Derek Nickel. Nickel currently running in the 5th spot. Then behind Nickel, we see the 11 of Gabriel Watson. Watson 7 laps down in 10th. Behind Watson, that's the 7 of Adam Carty. Carty currently shown in the 6th spot. Then behind Carty, we see the 8 of Jeffrey Blue. Blue 7 laps down in 11th. Behind Blue, that's the 2 of Brandon Curran, currently being shown in the 9th spot, 1 lap down. And behind Curran, it's the 6 of Blake Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum in 7th. Behind Rosenbaum, that's the 12 of Stefan Langlois. Langlois, the last car on the lead lap, running 8th. And just behind Langlois, that's the 1 of James Linkowitz. Linkowitz doing everything he can to stay out in front, holding off Derek Gress, although it looks like Gress may have closed ever so slightly, and Gress now beginning to pull away from the 00 of Aaron Johnson. Back and take a look at that. We can see that Gress has now managed to put about 2 car lengths between himself and Johnson. Johnson had been right on Gress's back bumper the entire race, but looks like Gress may be beginning to pull away, and Gress probably closing in just slightly on the 1 of Linkowitz. Linkowitz now having to fight some lap traffic. That's the 12 of Langlois. Langlois trying to stay on the lead lap. No cautions in SK modified fixed series races though, so battling the leader there really won't do a lot of good since there's not going to be a lucky dog or a wave around. 10 to go, now 9 to go. Linkowitz with the lead, Gress second, Johnson third, Nickel 4th, Bonafield in the 5th spot, Carty 6th, Rosenbaum 7th. Those cars on the lead lap. Langlois and Curran both 1 lap down in 8th and 9th. Gabriel Watson and Jeffrey Blue both 7 laps down in 10th and 11th. Out front, it is James Linkowitz with the lead. Linkowitz running a nice race car, looking like it might be loosening up just a bit. Looked like Linkowitz is a little loose going into the turn. Looked like he was loose going into 3. Nice and smooth going into 1, so that could have just been an artifact. But Linkowitz, regardless, out front. James Linkowitz with the lead. Gress second, Johnson third. It looks like Gress has begun to pull away even just a bit more from Aaron Johnson. Let's look back. Gress now about 3 car lengths ahead of the 00. So it looks like Derek Gress is going to be able to hold on to that 2nd spot. I don't think anybody has anything for James Linkowitz. Linkowitz now almost half a straightaway ahead. The lead has ballooned to about 2 seconds as James Linkowitz closes on the 6 of Blake Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum, the last car on the lead lap. Linkowitz with 5 to go, trying to find his way around Blake Rosenbaum. 4 to go now. Linkowitz is about a half a car length off Rosenbaum's back bumper. Rosenbaum moves up, gives the leader plenty of room. Linkowitz going to go by on the inside. 4 to go. Now Linkowitz closing in on that next car in line. Looked like that might have been the 8 of Jeffrey Blue. Couldn't tell for sure who that was. No, that's the Dirt Vision car. That is Jeffrey Blue, the 8. So Jeffrey Blue 7 laps down. The leader closing in. 3 laps to go. Linkowitz with the lead. Now 2 to go. James Linkowitz running a nice smooth race, doing a great job at South Boston as he closes in on the lapped car of Jeffrey Blue. Linkowitz is going to bring the car off the turn now down the front straightaway. They'll take the white flag this time by James Linkowitz. Going to take the white flag. He's trying to find his way around the 8 of Jeffrey Blue. Blue goes below the yellow line to try to give the leader plenty of room. Does that again, backs off the throttle. The leader's going to come past out of turn number 4 onto the front straightaway. It'll be James Linkowitz with the victory. Linkowitz will take the win, followed by Derek Gress in second, Aaron Johnson third. Derek Nickel will wind up in the 4th spot with Guy Bonifield 5th. Adam Carty in 6th. Blake Rosenbaum will come home 7th. Stefan Langlois 8th. Brandon Curran 9th. Gabriel Watson 10th. And Jeffrey Blue in 11th. That's going to do it from South Boston Speedway. James Linkowitz with a big win in the iRacing SK Modified Series. For the Johnson iRacing team on the Johnson iRacing Network, this is Aaron Johnson saying, go fast, turn left, have fun.